Welcome to the Ego versus EQ and You podcast, where we discuss the key aspects of emotional intelligence and ways to apply it in everyday living. Now let's work together to make common sense more common. Welcome back. I am Jen Shirkani, your host, and I am going to introduce a co-host today with me, Steve Friedlein, in studio. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Always good to have you. I thought we could pick up our Versus series today, and this is an interesting one, leading versus following.
Oh my goodness.
And this came to mind a few years ago. I had a conversation with a business owner, and he was considering promoting somebody up. And he said to me, you know, this person is so independent, and I worry that if he can't follow, he can't lead. And it really got me thinking about that whole dynamic of leader as follower and follower as leader.
Right. And you know, it's interesting because as I look at those two, we've all been in both of those positions at different times in our life. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I mean, when you were learning new things, it was important to follow the advice, whether it was a parent or a trusted friend or a teacher.
Yeah.
And so we've all been in that following role. But I think it's important to keep that balance going forward. If, as you just said, if you're in a leadership role, there's a need periodically to take a look back and follow some of the instincts that you have about learning from other people who may lead in a different way or may go about communicating in a different way.
Well, I often say that as you get promoted, if you're in a traditional leadership position, you know, you're going to grow in your career. And if you reach a C-suite level, right, a C something, a chief something, you now have to be a generalist.
Yes.
You can't afford to be a specialist. If you're the CFO, you have got to be a generalist around best practices of accounting,
Right.
financial planning, and advice. You can't be the payroll specialist anymore, right? And so we have to then rely on our teams who are the experts and kind of follow their lead. If they say this is something we should do, take that really seriously.
Yes.
So the teacher becomes a student in some ways, right? The senior leader becomes the follower when it comes to certain pieces of data or...
And we want our followers to become independent.
Yes.
I think that's a really important piece of it, that I want to lead in such a way that I instill the confidence in the people that are following me to become more leadership-like in their day-to-day activities and the way they think, right? So
because they get too dependent on the leader.
It reminds me of an analogy. I don't think I've said this for quite a while, but the analogy is the coach doesn't play, okay?
Yes.
So... if I'm a soccer coach, for example, or any sport, and during practices, I can be out there on the field and say, no, Jennifer, you need to kick the ball with your other foot, or whatever it might be, to give you advice and coach you. Yeah. But once the game starts, once it's game time, you're out there on the field by yourself.
Yes.
Okay? And if I haven't done my leadership role effectively, you're not going to be able to function independently because I can't be out there to do it for you.
Yes.
And I think that's such a significant way of looking at this leading versus following, because we want our followers to become more capable of leading themselves down a different path.
It's so funny because I just used the analogy similar to that yesterday with a client where I used the conductor analogy.
Okay.
She has an orchestra on her team, right? And she is the one who is supposed to be overseeing the music, the sound, who goes when they go.
Yep.
And she's not playing an instrument.
Right.
She is the conductor.
Yes.
Similar example.
Exactly. And I think it's so significant because I think of different points in my life where I've needed to step back, okay, and encourage someone else to step into that role. Because I think the tendency, too, is sometimes we like to continue doing the things we like doing the most.
I know.
And it may no longer be a part of my job description, or maybe I've got too many things going on and I need to give something up. But we rarely give up the things we really like to do.
Yes.
And those are maybe sometimes the things that we need to put into the hands of someone else so they can lead instead of following me.
Right out of the ego traps, right?
I think so.
One is, using my technical expertise
Yes.
instead of my leadership skills.
Yes.
And the other one is not letting go of control because I enjoy this.
Yes.
I like doing this job, but
Right.
maybe it's not my role anymore.
Right.
And I need to start letting that go.
Exactly.
I think if we go back to EQ and the EQI, one of the skills on there is independence.
Yes.
And independence too much independence, of course, is someone who's just out operating alone.
Yeah.
But there is like a scale between independence and collaboration.
Right.
So as a leader, I need to be independent, but I also can't be so independent that I'm not collaborating
Right.
appropriately.
So we want to be interdependent.
Yeah.
Basically, there's dependent, independent, and
In the
that
middle there.
interdependent kind of goes in the middle. And I think that's what we're really, really seeking here with this leading and following business is I don't want to get so comfortable in one role or the other that if something happens and I'm asked to either step up or step back, I panic. Anything I can do to prepare to be more capable of both of those roles is going to suit me very well in rounding out the person I want to become. Yeah.
Well, and if we even look at this from a personal life standpoint, right, we can be leaders in our families.
Yes. Yes.
We're leaders and followers in the
Yeah.
family, perhaps.
Yep.
We have an aunt, my husband's side of the family, and she's the youngest, but everyone calls her the boss baby because she's the leader of the crew.
And it's not you?
It's not.
Okay, just checking. Yeah. Well, I think too, it's difficult, like I said, for me to step into a role I'm uncomfortable with, and it makes me think a little bit of social style
Okay.
and communication style in that if I have a tendency to want to get along with everyone, I may not want to push myself into a leadership role. Or if I'm really focused on details and getting things done and working on my own, I may have a tendency not to want to be more social and interdependent. So I think that plays in as well, because there are people that are more naturally outgoing types of leaders from a communication style standpoint.
Yeah, but we do know that introverted leaders actually tend to be more successful.
That is correct. That is correct.
The quiet ones.
Yes. Yes.
Quiet, right out of another favorite book.
So
of
it's
mine
one of the
talked
things we
about.
always talk about, the fact that regardless of your style, it isn't an indicator of how effective you would be as a leader.
Right.
Because anyone can become an effective leader regardless of how they choose to interact if they are appropriate in the use of their style.
Right. So if you're more naturally a follower or more naturally a leader, the goal is that you're kind of, again, getting out of comfort zone and leaning maybe a little bit more on either side of that to round yourself out a little bit.
Yes. Yes. So what's my goal? Or what should I be looking for in terms of becoming more well-balanced between leading and following? And I think, obviously, my role in an organization has a lot to do with it, or my role in the family. But I always think about the fact that what if that person's not there? You know? And we hear this all the time. Now, if you're a leader and you step away, will the people be able to do the responsibilities necessary if you're not in the room?
Right.
And so I think leading and following definitely plays into that as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I guess, leadership and followership are symbiotic, right?
That was a mouthful.
It is.
But I
a
got
big
it.
word,
I know,
symbiotic,
I picked
right?
right up on it.
But we lead better because we follow, and we
Yes.
follow better because we lead.
Yes. And I think even if I'm designated as a leader, it doesn't mean I can't be a follower in certain situations.
Exactly.
And it will give me more credibility if I'm willing to step out of that role.
Well, and if somebody wants to get promoted and they show that they're good followers, that actually implies that they will make good leaders
Yes.
too.
Yes. Totally agree.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with me about this.
You betcha.
I appreciate it. Hopefully you have picked up a few tips. If there's any topics that you'd like to learn more about, or you have a challenge at home or at work that you'd love some free advice on, we will keep you anonymous. You're welcome to email us, and we will be happy to help out. Until next time, thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us today on the Ego versus EQ and You podcast. If you liked this episode, be sure to follow us or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and please share our show with others. For questions or future topic suggestions, please email us at podcast@jenshirkani.com. Until next time, keep using your EQ and show ego who's boss.